Now, there are concerns in the U.S. around women's privacy in terms of the data from period tracking apps. So this is why this is important. This week, the U.S. Supreme Court leaked that it may overturn that 1973 Roe versus Wade abortion rights ruling. Tech experts have now warned that data from these period tracking apps may even be used against women. Eva Galperin from the Electronic Frontier Foundation joins us live from San Francisco, California this morning. Eva, it's great to talk to you. Morning here in South Africa, a good evening to you. Incredibly worrying, and I don't know if I'm the only one here, but I imagine many women around the world would not have thought that something as useful as a period tracking app may play into what's unfolding in the U.S. insofar as abortion rights are concerned.
Well, period tracking apps are just one aspect of the ways in which our digital lives give away information about our health, which is suddenly a very important issue for women in the United States right now.
So the apps, they collect incredibly personal information, don't they? And they go well beyond just entering the dates when you're actually having your period. Depending on the app, it can also include how often you're having sex, if you're trying to have a baby, whether you've had unprotected sex, if you've experienced a miscarriage, menopause as well.
This is true. Additionally, these apps are sometimes not very secure, and they have privacy policies that allow the companies that make the app to essentially hand that data over to whoever they want, or indeed to sell that data to whoever they want. So that makes it a potentially very useful treasure trove of data for governments and law enforcement who are looking to essentially create a dragnet in order to figure out who may or may not be seeking out an abortion at this time.
Eva, take us a step back. In terms of what's happening in the U.S. insofar as the Supreme Court ruling overturning abortion rights, just take us sort of to the basics of how this might play into what's unfolding in the U.S.
Well, to begin with, one of the things that I should make absolutely clear is that Roe versus Wade has not been overturned at this time.
Yeah.
The leak that we saw out of the Supreme Court a couple of days ago is a draft of a decision, and it is a draft of a decision that is expected to come out in its final form probably sometime this summer. The version of the decision that we have seen is extremely far-reaching and broad and attacks the entire notion of privacy as a fundamental constitutional right, and additionally as abortion, and additionally a right which protects women's right to an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
So this opens the door to states having laws which outlaw abortion in all kinds of ways, going from abortions after 6 weeks, or any kind of abortion at all, or even miscarriages or IVF treatments. They can pass laws against abortion without exemptions for rape or incest, and many of the states in the United States have such laws ready to go that would essentially be triggered the moment Roe versus Wade is overturned. So that's very worrisome.
Yeah, incredibly worrisome. In fact, 13 states, according to some reports this morning here, or rather over the past couple of days, 13 states have already passed these so-called trigger laws that you've just described, Eva, bans that are designed to go into effect if indeed Roe versus Wade is overturned. So in terms of, you said period tracking apps, just one of these apps that have these incredibly important information. Is the advice from you and other people in your sector to get off the app and to delete all of your information immediately?
It depends on who you are.
Yeah.
If you are a person who is using a period tracker app and you think that you are likely to get pregnant or that you may seek an abortion sometime in the future, when you are in a state that has outlawed abortion, I would suggest getting rid of one's period tracker app, especially if it is one of the less privacy protecting apps, such as Clue or Flow. But there are more privacy protecting period tracker apps, such as the one which was put out by Planned Parenthood, which could potentially offer you more protections. But this is not something that everybody needs to do right now.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a thing that people who are likely to seek out abortions in the future really need to start thinking about, because if you only start thinking about your digital fingerprint after abortion has become illegal, then it is already too late. You have already left a whole trove of data out there for governments and law enforcement to find.
Yeah.
The other data that I'm very concerned about is location data.
Mm-hmm.
The location data the state of location data is very, very poorly protected in the United States, and it is possible for advertisers or indeed anyone to simply purchase data about people who are going to specific locations, such as abortion clinics, and that can be extremely telling. It is not difficult to imagine a world in which visitors to abortion clinics are essentially tracked in a dragnet in states where abortion has been made illegal to see who has been traveling across state lines in order to get an abortion.
Yeah.
The bad things are coming, and we're very concerned about it.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's not like normal medical records that are held by doctors or by hospitals, covered by privacy laws. This is open, as you say, and for sale, effectively, to interested parties.
Indeed. Some of this information can even be found for free.
Yeah, it's incredibly worrying. Eva, I want to thank you for your time this morning. Eva Galperin, Director of Cybersecurity at the Electronic Frontier Foundation. She joins us from San Francisco in California this morning, talking about what's unfolding in the U.S. in so far as that leak this week from the Supreme Court around the possible overturning of the Roe versus Wade protection of abortion rights in the U.S. As Eva says, that hasn't happened as yet, but certainly many organizations in the U.S. and many people, of course, are incredibly concerned.